What's up, guys? We are back for another Star Wars Black Series review, and we're taking a look at a figure from the newest wave, the wave after Force Friday, and this is a complete unknown as far as character goes because, well, the show hasn't started yet. So we're taking a look today at Cara Dune, so that's Gina Carano's character from The Mandalorian, and this is easily my most anticipated figure in this wave, even in a wave with a Luke Skywalker. I am really curious what's going on with this particular figure because frankly she looks pretty amazing. So we've got her here in our standard Black Series packaging, of course. Figure in the window, we've got some fantastic artwork of her down in the corner. She is number 101, and then the back of the package has a little bit of a write-up, and then we've got more of that artwork as well. So let's do it. Let's pull her out and take a look. And here she is out of the package, our Cara Dune figure. And I gotta say, if this character is half as cool as this figure is, then I think we're gonna have a good time when it comes to The Mandalorian, because this is easily one of the best female figures we have ever gotten in the Black Series line, and she's definitely up there for some of the best in the year so far. There's a lot of good stuff going on here, so let's jump right in. So we have got a head that can look up a little bit. She does have kind of a hair situation going on, so it does prohibit movement a little bit. She can look down a little bit as well. The head is definitely a little restricted on this one though, and then you can rotate side to side. The arms go out. The shoulder pads are going to kind of stop you, but they go out pretty far, and then you can rotate. Of course, being a female figure and being a bare-armed figure, you're not going to get bicep swivels or anything like that. You do have a single rotating elbow, but it is cut in such a way that she goes a little bit past 90 degrees, which is pretty fantastic. You've got a lateral rotating wrist over here, and then you've got a vertical rotating wrist over here, which is very, very useful. We've got a diaphragm cut, so she goes backwards, forwards, bobble side to side, and then rotation. There is no crunch, though, on this one. Legs go out pretty far. She does have a holster over here, so it limits her a little bit, but not too much. She can kick forward and then backwards a little bit. You've got your thigh cut. You've, of course, got your double jointed knees, and then you have got a boot cut for shin swivel, and you've got rocker, and then of course you've got hinge down there. So she moves pretty well. She isn't the most articulated Black Series figure, but she's definitely up there, and despite some of the hindrances, she does flow really nicely. But I'm sure you already know where I'm heading with this. It's not about the articulation with this figure. Don't get me wrong, she moves pretty well. It's all about the look and the aesthetics, the sculpt, the paint job, the face on this figure, and just a general good job that Hasbro has done here. If there's maybe one gripe to be had on this figure is that she could probably stand to be a little bit dirtier just based on what we've seen so far in the show. But I think they've done a really good job in the general sense because there is a lot of stuff going on here. And of course it's, basically all new. So you've got this kind of almost braided chainmail breastplate here, which does have some of that turquoise inlay on it, some silver dry brushing to bring out a little bit of wear and tear. You've got this tattoo over here on her bicep, and then you've got more of that armor plating on the wrist. You've got the shoulder pads with a little bit more silver dry brushing as well. The belt is technically a floating piece, but she has actually a slot in her butt, so it fits in there, so it doesn't fall around, but it kind of gives you it has a little give to it, so it will move a little bit. There's a lot of sculpt on there, and it kind of hangs a little bit, so it kind of shimmies down her waist a little, which I think works really nicely. You've got this other kind of upper belt almost that sits above it, and in a general sense, I think the aesthetics here look really good. I mean, it's very much a Star Warsy kind of look. You've got kind of an asymmetrical design going on with the one knee pad over here. You've got more of that braided armor on the thighs, and then you've got some canisters down here. And what I really like about this figure, and we'll talk about accessories proper in a minute, is that she can hold all of her weapons all at once, because we've got the gun that has the sash on it so it can sit across her shoulder, or she of course can hold it. You do have a holster for her pistol, and then you might miss it, but there is a little tiny slot in the boot on the left side, your right now, to put the knife, which I love. I always love the fact that I can store a figure's accessories on it at all times, and you can definitely do that here. So it's just a cool looking figure. I think the sculpt is fantastic. The paint job for the most part is really well done. If I have one grievance is that I've got a little bleed over here on her wrist, but otherwise she looks fantastic. I like the design. I love the color scheme because it's very much different, kind of stands out from amongst the sea of browns in a lot of newer Star Wars stuff, so she definitely pops. But at the end of the day, the face, the head sculpt on this figure is truly where she shines. And I know someone's going to say it because this figure does have kind of a shiny finish to the face. That's not what I'm talking about when I mean she shines here. I just love everything about the head sculpt and the face printing on this figure because I really think they absolutely nailed it. They've gotten Gina Carano's likeness down, I think, as good as they're going to get for a 1/12 scale figure. I think that Hasbro did just a tremendous job here getting some of those subtle facial cues correct. The sculpt looks good. Face printing is nice. They've even got her, Rebellion logo tattooed on her face, which frankly I'm not a big fan of in just a general sense, and it's kind of small, so you might not be able to pick up on it all that well. But she's got the little, she's got the tattoo on her cheek, so it's a tiny detail that they got right. She's got an asymmetrical hair design, which I really like. She's got kind of like the braids that come back, and then she's got the longer hair over here on the side, and it just looks good. There's really not much more for me to say. It's a well done head sculpt, well done face printing, and it looks just like her. And lastly, for accessories, she does have, like I mentioned, she does have 3. So to start with, we've got her knife that comes down out of her boot here, and there's not a whole lot to talk about here. It's got a brown handle with a kind of graphite gunmetal-y kind of blade. I just like the fact that we're seeing more kind of grounded in reality weapons here, because this is very much something that you wouldn't see with hardly any Star Wars figure, but of course she comes with one, so I think that's kind of cool. And again, I love the fact that it fits in that boot, and you might miss it if you're not really looking for it. And then you've got her sidearm over here that again fits in the holster really well, and it's just a pretty standard blaster pistol for Black Series. So you've got a brown handle, and then you've got silver for the actual gun, the barrel, and the scope. And this guy tucks right in to her holster pretty well. And then of course her big gun, literally and figuratively, is this big guy here, which you can easily take on and off because it has a kind of clippable strap. So you've got this double canister, big honking machine gun type of thing, and she's supposed to be like a heavy gunner or a shock trooper or something like that from the old Rebellion days. So she carries this massive beast around. It's got silver dry brushing on the barrels down there. It's kind of like a double barrel guy, which I think the design is really cool. It looks a little bit more real worldy type of thing, and it's got a band that's attached here, and then you can clip it onto this right here, so it acts as the strap, so you can put it around her, or she can hold it two-handed style, or she can carry it with the handle that sits on the top. So there's a number of options with this guy outside of the fact that it kind of looks cool to boot. So yeah, this is a winner. There's really nothing for me to truly complain about. A couple little gripes here and there. You know, she is a little restricted in some ways with articulation, but she still moves fine, and she has a little bit of a sheen to her face. Otherwise, though, I think she is an awesome looking figure. It has gotten me even more interested to see what she does in the show, and there's just a lot of cool stuff here. Great sculpt on that armor. The head is fantastic. I love the fact, again, that she can store all of her weapons, and that knife storage is just perfect for me. Not to mention the fact that the big, massive machine gun that she comes with is also really cool on top of everything. So there's really no reason to not get this figure unless, you know, you're holding off to see what she does in the show. But I am 100% on board for anything Mandalorian right now, and she is right up there for easily one of the best female figures in the line, and I'd be surprised if she doesn't show up on my top 10 of 2019 because I'm really digging everything that's going on with this figure. So that's going to do it for this look at the Star Wars Black Series Cara Dune figure. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.